Hello and welcome to Maury County Now. Maury County Now is a community news show covering events, ideas, groups, and happenings in and around Maury County. For those with an emergency, Maury County E911 has been answering the call. We spoke with Director Freddie Rich and staff about E911 and some exciting changes just around the corner.
I'm Freddie Rich, Maury County 911 Director. 911 started in 1991 to give citizens of Maury County the ability to dial one number instead of having to look up all the emergency numbers to dial. When you call 911, of course, one of our dispatchers answers the phone, and as we pick up the phone, immediately a signal goes out to the phone company to pick that number up, brings that number back to us, and is sent out again to bring back all the information for the screen, the address, their phone number. At the same time, the dispatcher will click a button and it will create the call. Also, on the map at that time, the call will display on the map so we know where the call is. Depending on the type call, of course, depends on the type agency goes or what agency we give it to. Normally we get the information for them and give them the address. We also do pre-arrival instructions, which means CPR, deliver babies, tell people how to stop bleeding, whatever the situation might be. That's what the dispatcher takes. NG 911, next generation 911. The first and the most important right now is it will allow you to text 911. If you had a situation where you didn't feel comfortable talking on the phone to someone, bringing attention to yourself, then you could actually text us and we'll be able to receive the message and text back to you. That is coming up this spring. Video or pictures. You come up on a wreck scene, firefighters, EMTs like to see what it looks like, where we can send the pictures on the mobile devices in their vehicles. They'll have a picture before they get there what the scene looks like. A picture of the placard on a hazmat incident, so we can send them all kinds of information like that. It's definitely going to be a lifesaver for the citizens of Maury County.
The Smart 911 is basically another option to get responders to the scene quicker. There's already a great efficiency in what we do, but this is just another step, but you can never have too much of a quick response time. Security is the primary concern. The information that is put into the website when you go to smart911.com, that's any information you want us to have that you think would make it easier for us to respond to your emergency. It's totally secure, you only put in what you want, and it's not something we can access 24 hours a day. We only get it if you call 911. So some of the more common uses, which there's an infinite number, are medical emergencies. People want us to know if they have any special equipment. Oxygen, that's a main one. As far as allergies go, that's another large use for it. If you have a peanut allergy, you might not be able to talk. You call, you put in the information, and we get it. We know you have a peanut allergy, we know where you're at. It also allows us another option to track the phone. Say if you call and you're not at home, our maps already will plot your location, but this is just a backup in case our maps are not hitting it correct or our map's not hitting it right away. This is another option. Pets as well, seeing eye pets. Protective dogs, if you think there's a dog that might be overprotective of your family and that's a concern for responders, that's something we definitely need to know. Also for obscure house locations, if you have a hidden driveway, that's a huge help because the responder might pass it at first if they're not looking for it, or it is a hidden driveway, it might take some time to find it. You can give us directions to the house, a description of the house, because over time mailbox numbers fall off. Another big one is if you need a passcode to get in a gate or key location, and you're not able to give us that information on the phone, we already have it. You can also put in pictures of anything you want us to have. You can put in a picture of your house, family pictures. That's a big one as far as for missing children or missing adults for that matter. You can also put in other contact numbers. Say if something happens to you and you have children and you have a medical emergency, you can put who you want us to contact to take care of your kids. The important part is to remember that this is your information you put in. It's recommended that every 6 months you go in and review and update, if necessary, this information, because outdated information is of no service to us as well as you. We're only as good as the information we get. That's why this is such a great technology, because you can give us all the information you want us to have. So there's no blank spaces or guesswork on our part. We have everything we need to get the responder there as quick as possible. Another important one I like to point out is the section where you can put in the family members. Say an instance of a house fire. That way we already know how many people are supposed to be in the residence. Now that is a variable that could change with guests and people being out of town, whatnot. But it's a nice start to know how many people should be there, how many pets should be in there, what kind of pets they are. Any information, I don't believe there's any such thing as too much information.
Adam Southern is back to shake things up with some natural disaster tales that will blow you away for his segment, Historic Maury County.
I'm Adam Southern, and this is another segment of Historic Maury County. And it's getting close to March, and we know what that means in Middle Tennessee. Tornadoes are coming our way, so take cover, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk a little bit today about some of the natural disasters here in Maury County. And one thing I want to talk about is the earthquake of the New Madrid Fault, 1811-1812. Now, we really don't have that much that remains that we can see from that earthquake here. But if you look at some of our old buildings, you will see these decorative stars on several of the older buildings in downtown. And you might think, well, you know, that's just something decorative they have on the house, but it's not. Those are really earthquake rods. And that earthquake scared so many people, took down so many homes that were here, that when they rebuilt, they made sure that they had this long bar through their brick. So every time you see that star, know that that is a reminder or a remainder of the earthquake of 1811-1812. And we'll also talk a little bit about the tornadoes. As we said, we're getting close to tornado season, and Maury County has seen its fair share of tornadoes come through. 1910, we've talked about it before on this segment, that the tornado that came through downtown took off one of the courthouse's finials. And instead of replacing that finial, they went and cut all the rest down. And it tore down a lot of businesses right there on South Main Street. I don't know that it actually tore them down, but it did a lot of damage to that area on South Main Street. And also in 1913, another tornado came through in Culleoka, and it took down the depot and also Culleoka Produce Company. And that's really important because when that was the peak time for Culleoka cantaloupes, was about that time in the early 1900s. So that really put a damper on their Culleoka shipments and purchasing and selling of the Culleoka cantaloupe. And you can't really talk about natural disasters in Maury County if you don't mention floods. We're right here on the banks of the Duck River. The Duck River gets out of its banks a lot. And we have experienced several floods. Probably one of the biggest was in 1973. And this 1973 flood was so big that it took the Riverside Bridge off its abutments. They had to rebuild that bridge. It did a lot of damage to the homes in Riverside. And of course the areas down off of the square, Water Street, that area floods a lot, hence the name Water Street. But that area right there suffered a lot from these floods, and it still does. Every time the water gets up, you will see that happen. And this has been our journey through the natural disasters in Maury County. If you're interested in reading more about the natural disasters, come look through our history books here at the Maury County Library. The library is located at 211 West 8th Street. And you can also find us online at maurycountylibrary.org. Thank you for watching.
Hi, my name is Lydia Jolly. I'm the registered dietitian with the Maury County YMCA. Today we are talking about healthy eating on the run. First thing you want to do is think about where you're going to eat. Consider the menu options and make sure you take time to look at the menu and make sure you choose a healthy menu option for you. Some healthy terms that you want to be aware of would be things that are baked, braised, broiled, grilled, poached, roasted, or steamed. Some unhealthy terms that you may see on the menu that you want to avoid would be batter fried, pan fried, buttered, creamed, crispy, and breaded. If you do choose these unhealthy options, you can choose them occasionally or in smaller portions, or you can even get child-sized or appetizer.
Pucketts Grocery is putting the finishing touches on their new location in downtown Columbia. We spoke with Andy Marshall about their new sign and about the bright future for Pucketts in Columbia.
Well, we're coming along real well. We're in our final stages of finishing here at the restaurant. We've got equipment to be delivered, painting to be done, some finishing works, but we're getting to the very end here. I'm very excited about getting to the middle of March and having this open to the public. We're here today hanging the sign, which is a great thing for us, from the design phase to the actual implementation of hanging the sign. It's been a nice process working with Columbia Neon. It's been a great experience for us, and they've done a fabulous job on the sign. Can't wait to see it lit every day here in downtown Columbia. The design came about just a thought process of, how do we make a statement with the sign, simply Pucketts, but how do you tell people what Pucketts is? And we're about music and about great food. So the guitar and fork came as an idea to me. I gave it to my marketing director. She sketched it out. And then she went and talked to Mr. Charles, showed her her sketch, and he took it from there.
Amy Whitby designed the sign, brought it to us. They were very interested in keeping it a historic factor, so we went back and got the pictures of the old Porter & Walker where it had the John Deere dealership up on top of the building. Went back in the 40s and 50s. And they were very interested in it being put to maybe the 40s and 50s time period.
With the opening, there's a lot of things we're excited about, but we're able to put some things in this restaurant that we don't have in our Nashville or Franklin restaurants. We had such a beautiful building here that had the square footage that we could use. We've got 2 private dining rooms inside of the restaurant, one that seats about 30 and one that seats about 50. And then the thing that we're most excited about is we're going to have a convention and event center that we can host large events up to 400 people above the restaurant. That's something we don't have in any of our other restaurants. It's just for Columbia, and we're very excited about that. We want people of Columbia to know that we're extremely excited about Pucketts coming to Columbia. It's been a gracious community. There's been a lot of great goodwill already spread around, welcoming us from the downtown Main Street programs to the Maury County Alliance to the city officials here. They've all been great to work with, been very welcoming, and we can't wait to get here and serve them.
Out on the back roads of Sawdust, Tennessee, Possum Holler Garage's Max Davis transforms what some would consider to be junk into priceless masterpieces. Here's Jonathan Hickerson and his Midas touch for his segment, Back Road Ramblin'.
Welcome to another segment of Back Road Ramblin'. I'm your host, Jonathan Hickerson. Today we're in downtown Sawdust, Tennessee with Max Davis at the Possum Holler Garage. He takes other people's trash and makes them the bizarre treasure. Let's watch.
So at Possum Holler Garage here, basically I take and I restore items and transform old items that have been discarded maybe at the landfill or somebody's backyard, and I transform them into unique and bizarre items. I get my inspiration from everywhere and everything. I can go out and get on my mower and I can be mowing for 2 hours, and all of a sudden right in the middle of me mowing, I can come up with this really unusual, unique idea that's something that I could actually do and get done, and I know that it's going to be something that people are going to like and appreciate and want to see some more of. So when I could be driving down the road and see some old barrels on the side of the road or in the woods, some people might not think anything of it, but I see it in a different way. I just have this vision where I can see stuff when it's done. And it may be 10 different things. I can make that out of that, I can make that. And I wanted to have a place where I had plenty of room. I was used to working in a little 10 by 15 garage. And so when I had the opportunity to buy some property here in Tennessee, I decided this is where I wanted to really build my building and branch out. My most popular project to date would be my little hillbilly boat that I created. I basically ended up taking a frame off an old mail Jeep and using the frame and the motor and the running gear. And I took this fishing boat and I don't know how to explain it. I just got a chainsaw and started cutting it, and cut the bottom of the boat out to fit on the Jeep. Another creation that I came up with was I built a table, a replica of a back wheel of a Lamborghini, but I built it a lot bigger than the wheel on the car. It's like a 5-foot table, and it's real unique. It took me about 2 weeks to build, and it was just built out of all scrap metal. It's hard to imagine, but I've got stuff in Switzerland and Sweden, restaurants all over the world. I was in the AACA Museum in Hershey, Pennsylvania. I've done stuff for Jay Leno, numerous country singers. Texas Roadhouse, Chewy's, Lone Star Steakhouses. I've been on CMT, True TV, Oprah Winfrey Network. I got all sophisticated not too long ago and got this thing on the internet, this website. So if somebody wants to check out my stuff, they can look at possumhollergarage.com and see some of my latest creations. There's a lot on there that we probably didn't get to talk about, but I try to keep it updated, although we get behind and get busy and stuff, so just bear with us. But that right there can lead you to us.
Well, that's it for this segment of Back Road Ramblin'. I'm your host, Jonathan Hickerson. If you would like your unique story featured, contact us at MauryCountyNow@gmail.com or find us on the back roads. See you next time.